Christopher. I'm Dante Mills. We're devastated, upset, angry, hurt. Over and over again, we keep coming to the system, asking the system to let us know that our lives have value. Jordan Neely was choked to death by someone who didn't care. People was telling him to stop. Last week, the jury they couldn't decide on the top charge, but they come back this week and they give up on us. The family's hurt. I promised this family that we would get justice. We're still going to do that. We're going to move forward with our suit. The district attorney did a good job, but the jury in this case let us down. So now here's what we have. We have a call to action, because you have to do something with this anger and with this rage. Our call to action is to take care of each other. We can't rely on outside people. If we see someone asking for food, we have to take the responsibility to give it to them. If we see someone cold, to give them a coat. If we see someone going through something, to ask them if they're okay. That's how we help each other, because we can't rely on the system to do it for us. And clearly, if we get to this point, it's too late. We have to be there for each other, and that's our call to action. Everybody that's pissed off at this verdict, I challenge you to go outside today and help one person. That's my challenge. If you're angry, if you're hurt, go help one person. That's how we beat the system. That's how we turn this around, by being there for each other.
I just want to say, I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now? I had enough of this. The system is rigged. Come on, people. Let's do something about this.
Let's do something about it. Too often, we have Eric Garner's mother here. There's too often this is happening, where we're left alone in this society. We got to stop that. We have to change how we impact each other. Jordan came on that subway car. The first thing he asked for was food, and he was killed. And the person who killed him was not held responsible. We cannot allow this to keep happening.
I got you. Oh. Look like the police are attacking protesters.
Are they?
Good morning, everyone. Here we stand once again in front of this unjust system. I stood here 10 years ago because they did not give justice to my son with the chokehold. I fought hard to get the anti-chokehold bill passed, which did pass. But it shouldn't only be for police officers, it should be for civilians also. No one deserves to be choked to death.
No one.
And you know, we're in that courtroom and people are cheering for the verdict. They made the loudest noise, the judge did nothing. But when his father spoke out, they put him out the courtroom. Is that justice? Or what? We can't allow this to keep going on. We have to fight this system. That's what I had to do. I had to fight to get the little justice that I got. I got one police officer fired. There's more that need to be fired. But I tell this family, do not give up. Because that's what they want you to do. They want to discourage you. Just like they tried to discourage me. But 10 years later, I'm still fighting. And I'm not only fighting for myself, I'm fighting for families like yourself. That's why I have to come out when this injustice is done. If this had been the other way, if your family had murdered this so-called innocent guy now, it would have been a different story. He would have been in jail or would have never came out. But they don't do the same to us. It's two justice systems.
You know that.
And we have to stop this. And the only way that we can stop it is to stand together. Those of us who are against what happened, we have to speak up. We can't treat this just like another news story, not another press conference. We have to speak up, and stand up. So I just say today, we did not get justice once again. And I am saddened. I am truly saddened by the situation because it keeps on happening and no one is standing accountable for their actions. So that means that any civilian could get on the train if they feel threatened and they could choke someone out and they're going to get found not guilty, just like today. This sets a precedent. And we can't let this happen. If the police can't do it, the civilians can't do it either. And I just want you to stand with this family. This family needs you right now.
Right on. Thank you. Let me jump on there. Thank you. I'm sorry to Dre. I'm sorry to Chris. I'm sorry that America has failed you. You've come here, you've shown discipline, you've shown strength, you've shown love, you've shown how to carry yourself with composure when you're facing this machine, this American judicial system that cannibalizes our people. But I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna say it loud and clear. Let the marchers march, and let the steppers step. Let the marchers march, and let the steppers step. You want to do something about this verdict? Then you go into your neighborhood and you promote black unity. Black people, we are all we have. This system protects every other group except for the very people that built this country.
Say it.
Every group that comes here gets privileges, gets benefits, except for the very people whose fingerprints are on the bricks that built this country. There is no love for black people. There is no love in the system. How can you make a moral appeal to a people that have no moral code? How can you preach love to racists? That got Dr. King killed. How can you promote love to a nation that is built on theft and genocide?
That's right.
What we preach is unity, black unity. Stop begging this system to justify our lives. Stop begging this system for justice. When things happen to you, you step up and defend yourself. Just like everybody else seeks justice on their own, just like everybody else has vigilantes, we need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Right.
I'm tired.
Tired.
I know you're looking for us to be like, oh, go and march, go and march. No. This weekend, I want you to hold a community event everywhere from the Bronx to Houston to Seattle to Florida. Black people hold community events and talk about what you need. And talk about how to fix your issues. If the black politicians come, don't let them in. If they come, do not let them come and take over your fight for justice. Why? Because out of all the black politicians who said something about this initially, none of them came to court. I'm sick of these people playing with our lives, our children's lives. Black people, if you're serious about yourselves, you'll take your education serious. You will open schools in your community. You will take your health serious and teach your people about health. You will take your self-defense serious. And you will defend yourselves and your communities. You want to take the information that's disseminated seriously? Then you will start your own media outlets. Because if America knew that Daniel Penny lied to the judges 5 times, lied to the cops 5 times, if they knew that all the people jumped off the train who were afraid within 30 seconds, and Daniel Penny choked them for 5.5 minutes, if they knew the truth, everybody would be on the side of justice except for the racists. The people who are happy that Jordan Neely is dead. Unify yourselves. We will be putting out information on how to unify yourselves, but this ain't about us. This is about justice. So there'll be no more Eric Gardners. So there'll be no more Jordan Neelys. So we will be a united front and a community. America will never save black people. Politicians will never save black people. Only black people will save black people. Hawk Newsome, H-A-W-K, N-E-W-S-O-M-E.
Yes.
Shavonna Newsome, C-H-I-V-O-N-A, N-E-W-S-O-M-E. I'm the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Greater New York, and I'm a devout Christian. And in my Bible, thou shalt not kill. In the Torah, thou shalt not kill. In Buddhism and Hinduism, thou shalt not kill a living thing. But America has no moral code. America has no soul. Our bloods have paved the streets of this nation since its inception. It was foolish of us to think that a black man would get justice in the system designed to keep him oppressed. My heart bleeds for the Neely family. My heart bleeds for his father, who sat in front of me every single day and prayed for justice for his son. There is no one coming to save black people, or else we wouldn't live in these ghettos, we wouldn't be in these prisons, and we would be further along than we are. We wouldn't be at the absolute bottom. So forgive me for being jaded and cynical, but once we saw those 9 white jurors, we knew that this case was over.
9 of them.
9 white jurors. How could there not be an uproar that the same person who got off Kyle Rittenhouse, who got off O.J. Simpson, was used here? And shame on you, celebrities and politicians who claim not to be racist, because the racists spoke loud and clear. John McCain's daughter, she had something to say. I think she incited a riot for the right. Phil Mickelson, he had something to say. Kid Rock donated $3 million. And if you look on social media, if you look at the hatred spewed across against us, against black people, against a man who was sick, because when there's a crisis of drugs in America, I'm sorry, it's only a crisis when it's a white person, an opioid crisis. Jordan was labeled a drug addict and labeled a crackhead. The only crime that Jordan Neely was guilty of was the color of his skin.
Come on.
But luckily for Daniel Penny, his skin was not like Jordan's, because you honestly wouldn't have seen our face. The NYPD would have arrested him after 3 hours. The justice system would have found him guilty. And shame on this jury. Because to be real, they didn't even try. Once the lesser charge was removed, they came back an hour later and said it was deadlock. Less than an hour and 20 minutes later, they said not guilty. These wonderful white people, I hope they celebrate their Christmas while the Neely family is praying and asking God for comfort. Goddamn them and goddamn America.
And when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, because thou givest him not warning, nor speaketh to warn the wicked of his wicked ways, his blood shall I require at thy hand.
That's it.
Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Mr. Zachary, My name is Rev Ron McHenry. I'm with the National Action Network. We are outraged by this verdict that we've heard today. We understand that Daniel Penny jumped on the train and choked out Jordan Neely. We understand that he was homeless. We understand that he cried out for food. But if we allow for regular citizens to choke out anybody on the train just because they feel uncomfortable, then what sort of precedent are we setting for the rest of America? We cannot allow for people to be lynched in this age. We cannot not allow for an era of injustice to continue. Even though this verdict did not go the way we wanted, we will continue to mobilize, we will continue to fight in the way Dr. King fought, in a non-violent way. So we urge everyone that is listening to mobilize, to galvanize together, because the fight is not yet finished for justice. Someone argued in the courtroom that no justice, no peace is a threatening chant. Dr. King said this, that tension is not, that peace is not merely the absence of tension, but the presence of justice. If we can't see justice by this system, then there is no peace in America, and we will continue to fight until we see the peace that Dr. King talked about is realized in this day and age. Justice for the Neely family.
Emotional testimony today in the subway chokehold trial of Daniel Penny. Jurors hearing about the final moments of Jordan Neely's life. A strap hanger testified that it looked like Penny, a Marine veteran now charged with manslaughter, was holding Neely just too tight. Prosecutors showed dramatic video to jurors of a man bending down over Neely, who was motionless on the subway floor as Penny looked on. Here's Darla Miles.
Another high school student on her way home from school testifying Thursday morning at the Daniel Penny trial. Morielen Sanchez calling 911 after seeing everything go down on that Uptown F train last May.
So there was a guy in the train saying that he's ready to go to jail. He was going to harm people in the train. So a guy who stepped in, and now he's holding him down.
The 18-year-old telling the court initially she was relieved when Penny took Neely down. Defense attorneys asking her, were you afraid that Jordan Neely would get up and make good on his threats? Morielen Sanchez answering no. You didn't think he was holding him overly tightly, did you? Sanchez answering yes. You did think that? Sanchez again answering yes. Another strap hanger, Johnny Grima, testifying he tried to intervene after seeing Neely was not responding, telling the court today, I told him to roll him over on his side so he don't choke, saying, I tried to pour water on his forehead, but Daniel Penny said stop. He said stop. That moment of Penny preventing Grima from pouring water on Neely's forehead, seen here in cell phone video. And a 38-year-old woman, a prosecution witness with testimony supporting defense arguments about Neely's behavior, testifying, I assumed he was having some sort of mental breakdown, that his threats were very traumatic and very believable, and that everyone was frozen. I truly thought I was going to die. Defense attorneys for Daniel Penny left court frustrated today, accusing the prosecution of introducing evidence they were told not to introduce, also saying the court is allowing inflammatory statements about their client. They asked for a mistrial. That motion was denied.
He used his martial arts training to kill Jordan Neely and did not use his first aid training at all because he didn't think Jordan was worth it. We trust the people in this community to stand up for what's right, no matter what color they are and no matter what color the victim is or the villain is, because we know who the victim is in this case and we know who the villain is. So we trust the process and we trust this jury that they're going to come back with the right decision. So thank you very much.
We have breaking news. A jury has found Daniel Penny not guilty of criminal negligent homicide in the death of Jordan Neely. Last week, a judge dismissed the top charge of second-degree manslaughter after the jury said it was deadlocked on that count. Prosecutors claimed Penny held Neely for too long, causing his death in a chokehold, while the defense argued Penny acted in self-defense.